Hari 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 Mandaragandha-samyuktam charuhasam chaturbhujam barhi pinchavachodangam krishnam vande jagadgurum Hari 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 Utpulla Padma Patraksham Nilajimota-sannibham Yadavanam Shurorattam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari 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 Rukmini kheli samyuktam pitambara sushobhitam avapta tulasi gandham krishnam vande jagadgurum Hari 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 Hari
Kumkumam Kitavakshasam Sriniketam Eshwasam Sam Gadgurum Hari 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 Mahoraskam Vanamala Virajitam Shankar Chakradaram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari 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 Jagam Patet Odi Janma Kritam Papam Smarenenya Neshyati Hari 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 This sense of I and mine. This is a big obstacle. I am this person. All these things are mine. All these things are within my control. All these things should be within my control. I care for all these things. I don't care for those things. All these complications come with this idea of I and mine. Arjuna went to Kurukshetra and he sees everyone ready for war. And he tells Arjuna, tells Sri Krishna, Arjuna says, take my chariot and put it in the middle so I can see all those who are coming to fight. To please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. He is so angry, he is so full of that But inside that feeling of I and mine is there. So, Bhagavan nips it. Because if he has this feeling that of I and mine, he has it. Earlier, then it's better than having it later. If he felt that what happened, Bhagavan took him there and he pierced that feeling of sympathy he had, the sense of I and mine. He said, Partha, Pashyetan, Samavetan Kuru. Partha, see, all the Kurus come together. So normally the Kurus would have come together in happy times for a puja, for a homam, for a wedding, for a coronation, for all these things, they would have come. But now they have come to fight. So here was most preeminent Kuru, Arjuna. It is as though he is being needled by a person who is not a Guru, a Yadava, from a different branch totally. Saying, see, all the Kurus come together. This is how they are coming together. They are not coming together in love. They are not coming together in joy. They are not coming together in celebration. They are coming together to fight. So then Arjuna, he looked at everyone there. And he didn't see them as warriors who have come to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. He saw uncles, he saw nephews, he saw brothers-in-law, he saw brothers, he saw so many teachers, he saw so many people. He didn't see them as warriors coming to fight. He imposed that relationship on them. He saw them through the prism of relationship, of I and mine. So, then he said, I will not fight. He sat down there and said, I am not going to fight. Now suppose this had happened 5 days into the war, what would have happened? The whole thing would have crumbled. Yudhishthira's cause would have been seriously jeopardized. So Bhagavan, what he did, he pricked the balloon in the beginning itself. So it would not, just like how doctor gives us medicine so that we don't get infected. Similarly, he pricked the balloon of this. So he started having this feeling that I am a Kaurava. I must not fight these people. These people there's Acharya sitting there, and for sake of money he is coming to fight. How can I lower myself by fighting with him? There is my grandfather there. Out of sense of duty, he is standing there. How can I fight him? He taught me everything. He looked after me when I was a boy. And so he saw everybody like that. They are all people who thought before they acted. When Jayadratha tried to carry Draupadi away, Then they brought her back. And though it would have been right for them to kill Jayadratha for what he did, but they were princes. Yudhishthira said, we have only one sister, Dushana. If we kill this man, unworthy though he is, she will have nobody. So he spared him. The sense of being able to overlook personal hurt for a higher cause, for the sake of dharma, was strong in them. So then the sense of I and mine came through to Arjuna in the form of pacifism. Is it right to fight or not? We should not fight. If we fight, then there will be so much of unhappiness. Now, every one of Arjuna's objections to war are perfectly valid. Other than Sri Nitya Chaitanya Yati, I am yet to find anybody who analyzed it so much. So they have just assumed that he didn't want to fight and he was scared or he was attached or he was full of ignorance or something. But he gave very, very sensible, very, very practical protests against the idea of war. He says that the basic things which he said is that the families will get destroyed if there is war. That is something which we saw happening after the Mahabharata. And also discord among those who remained. That also was there. After the First World War, the number of divorces went up by 3 times. By 30 times after the war, First World War. Similarly, there was no money after the Mahabharata war. And Sri Krishna had to find money for them to manage, but even then it was very difficult. There was nobody to go and work in the fields. So much of loss was there. So, everything he said was right. But the reason he said it was wrong. The reason he said is that we are going to cause all this unrest, we are going to cause all this difficulty. But if we cause all this difficulty, then what happens? We will have, in addition to that, we'll have the sin of killing all these people. They deserve death, Duryodhana and others, but because of them so many other people will also die. So this feeling of I and mine, I am the doer, that is something which and this feeling that all this is mine. That's pointless. his Samadrashti went because of that. He could not see everything the same. In our lives also, we have different standards for different people, for different situations, depending on our involvement. It's raining everywhere there. The place must be getting flooded. But here it's dry, cloudy but no rain, so I'm happy. How many times you heard people saying that? Then I'm all right. Only they are sick, I'm all right. So, in so many ways we find that this sense I'm not able to see what is right and wrong, because I am only seeing what I want and what I should get. I am only seeing the interests of people I like and not seeing the interests of people I don't like. So we have to cross this by certain things. One is at the end of the day, we have to look at our actions. How much has it been selfish? How much has it been unthinking about other people? How much has it been hurtful to other people? How much have I hurt other people? Just a remark. Oh, he's like that, he can't do anything, he's sick. We make that remark today. Tomorrow it becomes easier. And then easier. So then that downward slide is happening. So like I said about that man who immediately stopped that thought of why are they well and why am I sick? He stopped it immediately, cut it. He didn't allow that to come. That it came was because of his nature to be egoistic. But he cut it was because of the training of Sathguru, the teaching of Sathguru, the Upadeshams of Sathguru, all that made him feel immediately, I will not think like that. So, we must look at our thoughts. The minute thought of arrogance comes, then more will come. Arrogance is one of the big obstacles in spiritual life. Minute we see the thought come in our mind, we must hold it. The minute we feel that we are better than somebody else, we must know that we are going out of the circle of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. It was something which Bhagavan would not like and tolerate at all, looking down on other people. See the reaction. Drupada meets his classmate and tells him, understand one thing, friendship is only between equals. You are only a teacher, dependent on people. I am a king. I cannot be your friend anymore. When I look at Sri Krishna, remembering Sudama who comes there, thin and worn out, and he takes the best care of him. Because it is necessary that we know he goes there, he sees Sudama, he takes him, he makes them comfortable, he washes his feet, he looks after him. Here, this man. So always Bhagavan is remembered for that. Here, Drupada, he loses his kingdom, he makes a major enemy for himself. Otherwise, Drona would have stayed with him as his commander-in-chief, instead of which he went off there. Just think of what all Drupada lost because of that sense of arrogance, sense of looking down on somebody else. Again and again you find Bhagavan saying that don't despise others. He tells Duryodhana that, he tells Jarasandha that, king, don't despise another. How can you take other kings and keep them like animals in a cage? He said. But Drupada, he lost his son because of that. His son grew up, his son was killed after the war, his grandsons were killed, his daughter had to suffer for 14 years in the forest, all because of his arrogance, because his inability to think of anything other than I and mine. I am so great, I am such a great person. So, this is how we should understand the thought of I am. When we think of somebody else, we say, no. Why is he like that? I can't be like that. I cannot. Wear such clothes as he's wearing. The cheap stuff. What is important is the man who's inside that, but that we can't see. Ego is so full in our minds that we can't see anything. So the Emperor Yayati, he went to heaven. He was a great king. He went to heaven. And he was sitting there in heaven, and Indra told him, can you see anybody who's a great person here? So he said, Devendra, king of the Devas, I can see the rishis, I can see the Gandharvas, I can see the Apsarases, I can see the Devas, I can see the Brahmanas. Nowhere can I find anybody as good as I am. Nowhere. The next moment he landed on the earth. Because of his pride, he landed on the earth. Then he was shocked. He was a great king, he was a good man, many things. But because of his arrogance, he could not stay there anymore. There is no place for him in Swarga. So, because of his goodness, because of his otherwise he was a wise person, he landed in a place where a great yajna was going on. And the people doing that yajna were his 5 grandsons. So they were very happy to see him and they said, "What is it that has happened to you, grandfather?" And he said, "Look, I went there and I spoke like this to the king of gods. I was only a king of men. But because I went to heaven, I got very full of myself and I spoke badly to the king of gods." So then what they did is that they completed that yajna. And with that tapas and that shakti which came from that yajna, they took the grandfather and put him back in heaven. And how was he received? He was received there. Why was he received there? Because we have a small indication. He told his grandsons. His grandsons asked him, we are taking you there. Whether we'll see you again, we don't know. Give us some advice. We are all kings. Give us advice. You are such a great king. How is it that you managed to go to heaven with your body like this? So he said, I looked after the brahmanas, I looked after the cows. Nobody was unhappy in my kingdom. I saw that there was food for everybody. Like that he listed out all his achievements. But in none of those sentences we find the slightest disparagement or he is looking down on somebody else. He just said what he has done. So often when people ask us to see, we have to talk about ourselves. Sathguru doesn't like us boasting about ourselves. But when we go in the office, they ask us what we have achieved. We have to sit and say what all we have done. We have to document our achievements. And do it without looking down on somebody else. We can do it without any feeling of deceit. We can do it without hurting another person. All this is acceptable. And so Yayati got back into heaven. This is what Bhagavan wants us to be. This is what Sri Krishna expects us to be. But the sense of I and mine is very difficult to get over. Because we are constantly doing things. So when we constantly do things, we are creating karmas. All these karmas, they bind us. When they bind us, we are not able to move forward. Because we are not able to move forward, we make the same mistakes. So we must stop creating karma. We must stop creating further bonds to tie ourselves. We see something, we like it. We use it. We don't think it's nice, I got it. It's very nice, my daughter gave it to me. This is very nice, my son gave it to me. Then what happens? This is nice. Plus, so I am attached to it. Then I am attached to my child or son or daughter or friend or whoever gave it to me. That attachment we are fixing onto this. So then this becomes a bigger ball of attachment, which we are, a bigger burden which we are carrying. So it is only by letting God manage our life, by putting God into every aspect of my life, that I can get myself free from ahamkara. When we are born, what do parents say? They tell us our name and tell us, this is me, this is me. Baby, he will say, baby wants this, baby wants that. After some time he says, I want it. By the time that I has come. Parents also teach them to say that. We must take out that. What is connecting this karma to us? What is that bond? The sense of I. I'm sitting there with 3 bags full of karma. And then I'm carrying that karma. And when I'm carrying the karma, how do I hold it? What is the handle I hold it with? My attachment. My attachment to that activity. My anger to that activity. Whatever it is, that relationship to that activity. Ramdas, just put off that AC, please. So, when we correct ourselves, we have to start with one. We are tied up. So one by one we remove the knots. So we start on ourselves removing one knot. And if you are not careful, it will come back again. So we take it off. Untie the knot, take the thread and tie it onto God. Untie the knot, take the thread, tie it to God. How does one do it? I am doing this work, I am enjoying this work, I did it. No. I am enjoying this work because Bhagavan gave this to me. I am doing this work because Bhagavan gave me the ability to do this work. I got this success because Bhagavan gave it to me. I am carrying, what's that Guru said? The burden of 1,000 yesterdays. So I will, Narayana, I will throw away these burdens one by one. I will not have this burden anymore. I have to tell myself that this is a burden, this is not good for me, it will hurt me. Once I have got that feeling that it is not good for me, then it will become easier for me to drop it. The sense of self-preservation will remove it. So this is how we have to yeah? Oh. So what happens is that this is how we understand that we have to remove the sense of I and mine from it. We have to offer the work to God. We have to do the work because God has given this work. We have to enjoy this happiness because it has come as from God's hands. It's His prasadam. But we keep remembering this. This child is here with me. I am looking after it. It will grow up and it will go on its own. It's go on its own way. For some time, Bhagavan wants me to be connected with it. After that, it goes on its own. So, one by one, we start redirecting our energies from me to He. Slowly, we take it and put it at Krishna's feet. We take everything and put it at His feet. All the actions, we take it. We surrender. Whatever happens, like how they say in the Homam, Krishnaya Swaha Idam Namama. Offering is to Krishna, not this is nothing to do with me. So from this Namama only came the word Namaskara. Namaha and became Namaskara. So Namama we say and we tell Bhagavan, this is not mine. I am doing this work. It's coming out well. Idam Namama. I am doing this work. It's going to fail. I did my best, I gave it to Bhagavan. He wants it like this, so yet I will try how to redo it, how to change it. I will not stop, but that I will take it out of it. I am not a great achiever. I can't do all great things. All that I wanted to do. Whatever I have done, Bhagavan has made me do. As long as I feel I am doing it, then there's poison in it. When I think Bhagavan is doing it, then when we surrender to Him, just like how when we do Namaskara, we are surrendering. Even though it's just a physical act for most of us, in reality it is a spiritual act. How does one attain knowledge? First he says, Pranipatena, by namaskaram. Then only he talks about seva and asking for knowledge. So, ahamkara, the sense of I, can come only by feeling that I am that Bhagavan's child, I am that Bhagavan's servant, I am that Bhagavan's parent, I am that Bhagavan's friend. So, we have to remove that poison of ahamkara through namaskara. Through omkara, that is meditation through japa. Omkara is a symbol of it, japa. So through japa, through namaskara, we remove ahamkara. And then we surrender by connecting ourselves continually with Bhagavan. Now I am doing it, tomorrow I am doing it. I am doing various things for various purposes. It will work out if Bhagavan allows it. If he doesn't allow it, it will not work out. So, that is how it is in reality. When we just accept the reality, then all goodness comes to us. We are being rewarded for just knowing that, seeing the reality. But then peace comes, happiness comes, lives become less complicated. We get Sri Sadguru's blessings. Sri Sadguru Arpanamastu, Sri Krishna Arpanamastu, Narayana.